You're listening to The Moose and the Loose, your 10 minutes action-packed financial podcast with your host, Mikey Hu. Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike from The Moose on the Loose. I hope you are doing well on this Friday, Retirement Friday. You probably know that, or maybe you don't, but I started to be more active on Blossom. Blossom's a social media just for investors, started by Brendan, a fellow Canadian, fellow YouTuber. Amazing platform, actually. People are like nicer than on Twitter. So anyways, so that's my 2 cents. But anyways, if you want to follow me on Blossom, you can reach out to me at The Dividend Guy. My name on there is my real name, Mike Hu. So super easy to find, Dividend Guy as usual. And on that platform, what I like is you can throw a bunch of ideas, right? You can talk about investing, about ETFs, about whatever. And one thing that caught my attention on this platform is there are a lot of investors focusing on those high yield covered call ETFs to build their retirement income. And one thing that kind of like shocked me is that there was one member, and like mad respect for the guy, he's putting himself on the spot. And I love that because I love live case study and I do exactly the same thing. So I wish him well. I wish all the success in the world. But I'm actually a bit scared as well at the same time. And the point here is not to argue if the strategy that this person is doing is right or wrong, but more to highlight the risk actually, and just to have second thoughts on that. So the point is quite simple, is live experiment is to invest $50,000 in covered call ETF, yielding above 20%. Yeah, you heard that right. It's not a mistake. Yielding above 20%. So the goal of that experiment is to take out $1,000 per month, kind of like a source of income from that $50,000 every month, and reinvest the rest. So in other words, $12,000 per year, and then if you like good at math, $12,000 on $50,000, that's 24% or 2% per month. 24% per month per year that you're going to withdraw and kind of like hope for the best, right? So that author says, I'm going to reinvest if I generate more than 24% into the same covered call ETFs. And the comments on that post is that a lot of people think it's sustainable. Sustainable means that it's going to work out for decades, right? Because, I mean, if it's sustainable for 5 years, that's not sustainable. That's just like getting your money back. Okay, so just to make sure, if you're saying that a strategy is sustainable, is that it's going to work for several decades, not a few years, like or I don't know, like less than 10 years. So the financial planner in me is kind of like screaming right now. The actually former financial planner, because I'm not a financial planner anymore. I have to be clear on that. I don't have my title anymore. I didn't want to keep on like doing the research and doing the work for that. But anyways, from that background, and you're going to agree with me, if you're running financial planning or financial projections, any withdrawal rate above 4% starts to get so financial literature is showing us that if you're starting to withdraw more than 4% per year, even like the 4% rule is actually debated to see like, well, in some cases, it's not going to be fully sustainable. So if 4% withdrawal rate is all right, but not 100% proof, how can 24% be any different, right? Kind of crazy. So I decided to go a little bit more deeper into that strategy and picked up like one super popular covered call ETF that is the HHIS Diversified High Income ETF. HHIS.TO. 25% cash distribution with a little bit of like leverage as well. Crazy deal, right? The covered calls are all made on quite popular stocks. We're talking about like Alphabet, AMD, Netflix, Broadcom, Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Costco, Tesla, Palantir, Meta, Amazon, Nvidia, Microsoft, Eli Lilly. So you get the picture, like big guys, great success, a lot of growth in there, and then we're writing cover calls on those. Up to 50% of covered calls, up to 25% leverage. That's what the HHIS is saying. Management fees at 0%. That's kind of crazy. Oh, no, wait. That's because there are like 2 stars besides the 0%. And then you actually have to dig a little bit deeper. And then they're saying, oh, the ETF is too early, too young to have like the clear management fees, but there will be management fees, and sometimes some of those fees are actually embedded, so you don't even see them. So you have to be careful and read those like 100 pages of prospectus just to make sure. I wanted to highlight that because it's not true that there are no management fees. Like, come on, that's not how it works, right? There are fees. It's really young, so it's hard to have like a good idea of what's happening here. And I want to highlight that first. We can start on January 16th all the way down to May 16th to have like a few months to see how it goes. So let's say on January 16th, you bought HHIS at $12.38. That's cool. During that period, like between January and May, you receive 3 distributions. So February, March, and April. So 25 cents each distribution for 75 cents. Value on May 16th, we are at $12 we are at $11.89. So you bought it at $12.38 and then you got your 75 cents. Now it's worth $11.89. So $11.89 plus 75 cents, big total of $12.64, or a big 2% total return for that period. So can you withdraw 2% per month when you created that 2% over a few months? Not working right now. So far, not working. Like if you're just withdrawing that 25 cents every month, well, that's fine. But your capital is now at $11.89. So you're like dropping slightly. Okay. So a lot of people say, yeah, what we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Just you have to do the math here. It's generated 2% total return so far. And there's like 2 options here. Either you reinvest that money, which from you got pretty much nothing. It's like you got the money back, you reinvest it, and that you would get that like $12 anyway. So you did not generate much return over the 2 years, very far from that 2% per month actually. Or if you withdraw, well, then it's kind of like you're getting a part of your capital back. As you can see, you're not necessarily like the 25 cents every month. It's not exactly just income that was created because the ETF value is actually going down. And that's not like theoretical value. Is that if you have to sell your portfolio today, you're going to get like $11.89, not the $12 that you bought earlier. So you have to be careful with that too. So what is really going to happen? I think, like math-wise, is everything is run smoothly. Maybe the ETF is going to run well for like 6-7 years, and then it's going to die. Or what I really think is going to happen is the distribution will not stay 25 cents. And that is one of the most obvious thing that happen with all the like most of the covered call ETF. If you look at their distribution, they're not increasing, that's for sure, and they may as well go lower over time. The one that I did like an episode on Yield Max, and I used like the one on Tesla that has like a few years of existence, and the distribution has dropped drastically over time. So if you thought that you could live on that, well, you went from the filet mignon to the craft dinner analogy pretty fast. And when you think about that, I mean, in which kind of world would be, oh, it's relatively safe and it is sustainable to receive 24% of returns on an investment every single year? I mean, why don't we all borrow as much as we can at 5-6% right now, remortgage our house, and then get 24% return out of that? That would be like an arbitrage of generating almost 20% profit per year for nothing. Like, that's kind of crazy. Imagine that. Like, the federal government could actually issue bonds and invest massively in HHIS and pay off its entire debt in a few years. I don't think that makes sense. I'm going to leave that up to you, but I'm a bit scared that investors think that withdrawing 24% per year is totally sustainable. And so far, it's only a few months. I get that. It's only like 3-4 months, but so far, it's not happening. It's already not happening over 3-4 months. I'm not surprised. I was expected that. And I'm pretty sure that when I will revisit this podcast in a year from now, it's going to get worse. But we'll see. I hope that I'm wrong, because honestly, I don't mean to tell you what to do or what not to do, or that is not a good strategy. But I just don't see the mathing. I mean, that's just not happening here. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that for the weekend. Think about it. Let me know on YouTube. Reach out to me on the channel, and we're going to discuss that. So on Monday, I'll be back with more investment topics. And until then, don't forget to stay invested. Hey, welcome to the disclaimer. If you're listening to The Moose and the Loose, you cannot really expect me to give you buy or sell recommendation or financial advice, right? You're here for fun, you're here for information and some entertainment. But I am not your financial advisor, I am not your broker, so therefore I'm not liable if you're losing money after listening to the podcast. If you're looking for some advice, go see a professional. If not, you can enjoy the show and do your due diligence after it.